Let's do this. Welcome to Firearms of America. Today, guys, as you can see, I'm out here at Shooters in Fort Myers, Florida, about to do the review of something very, very special. I bet you never seen anything like this before. And if you have, let me know in the comments below, because I never even heard of anything like that being possible. Okay, as you can see, I have a big case out here. This is something from Meta Tactical. Alright, so let me ask you guys a question. Do you have a favorite handgun, right? A favorite brand of handguns? For example, you all guys know I'm a huge fan of Glocks. Glock is my sidearm. Everywhere I go, I always recommend, if you want to get a very first gun, it's Glock, right? But actually recently somebody commented on one of my Glock videos and said, I wish Glock started making rifles. And I said, that would be fantastic. And coincidentally, literally in the next couple days after I read that comment, I get email from Meta Tactical. And they sent me this. And this is right here, ladies and gentlemen, the very first ever in history of the mankind. This right here is innovation. A Bullpup handgun conversion kit for your gun, and this particular one is for my Glock 17 Generation 5. Check this thing out. First of all, it's very, very lightweight. It is legit. It has the racker. It has the expendable stock. So before I get into all of the details, let's put in the Glock into this thing, see how hard it is or how easy it is, and we'll do some shooting and we will talk about all the features. So, for the purposes of this video, like I said, I'm gonna use my, not just regular Glock 17, but actually my own Glock 17 Generation 5. And as you can see, I do have a few things changed. Obviously recommended is to have your stock Glock, but here I have silencer ready sights. I have extended slide release, so we will see if it will work with this conversion kit. So with this conversion kit, as part of it, it's not just the kit itself, it is also the barrel that you're getting. And I will show it to you right here. It is a 16-inch barrel for your Glock, and this is the very first thing that we will be installing. So let's do it. Safety first, double check that there's nothing in my Glock. Remove my old match grade barrel from Rival Arms, and we're gonna stick in 16-inch barrel into my Glock. Very curious how this is going to look. And as you can see, got the slide, got the barrel, fits perfectly, spot on, looks quite interesting, I have to say. Let's stick it in. I mean, overall, so far, seems to be very, very straightforward. And we got my Pinocchio Glock over here. Gonna call it Glock Nocchio. This way, actually, you know what? I really want to fire a few shots just like this. I really do. I have to. I just have to. Alright, so let me fire a few shots like this just because. Just because. Or should I fool around after I'm done with the actual? You know what? I'll fool around after I'm done with the review. So let me not fool around right now. Let me actually stick it in here, and then I'll fool around after I'm done with it. So, in order to release basically the part that opens up in order to stick in your Glock, kind of bad. There's a button here, down here. So you press that button, this part opens up nicely. It's very simple, very easy, very fast, nothing to it. All right, and then you also have basically the part that presses the trigger for you. So you need to release that as well, and you do that by pressing it on the other side and then pulling it from here. So now it is out. And technically, your handgun should slide right in. Now, I'm not sure if mine will with silencer ready sights, but let's see. So far so good, looks like it's in. It's in, and we lock this thing in place. And I think we got ourselves Bullpup Glock. Wow. Actually, you know what? One thing that I was very suspicious about. I wasn't sure if it's good. Well, besides my sights, I also was not so sure about the trigger. It's like the trigger on the stock Glock is already kind of weird. So the whole point of the conversion, obviously, besides giving you a bullpup, right? Handgun Glock with a 16-inch barrel, is also you either keep the trigger as okay as it is, or actually make it better. And this honestly almost feels better than the stock trigger. It's weird. All right, so for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna use my scope CPR red dot. I really do like it. It's very basic entry-level red dot, but it works very well because it's an easy, quick release, so I can use it on a bunch of different guns. And here, this is what we're gonna use today on this conversion kit, because it does not come standard, which is completely fine with the sights. So you can mount whatever you want. Obviously, I would recommend a red dot optic and also some flip up standard sights. Check it out. So we have our red dot. It should be already zeroed. So let's get some protective gear, put some rounds in the magazine, and do some shooting. Now, one thing that I really do like about the Bullpup shotguns, rifles, whatever it is, and if you really are not familiar, then it kind of, let me start from the very beginning. If you're not familiar with the Bullpup, what is the advantage of the Bullpup weapon? What is the Bullpup weapon? Okay, so the Bullpup, basically the name itself comes from supposedly from the dog, right? Bulldog puppies, right? So small but very aggressive. Same thing. Small, compact, but very aggressive. Small meaning that you have a whole 16-inch barrel, all right? You have a whole 16-inch barrel, nicely compacted in the whole barely 22, 23-inch, depending on how far you extend the stock, rifle, which is very impressive. And why? How is that possible? Well, it's possible by bringing all of the action at the very back. So your ejector is here at the very back, your trigger is at the front. So typically, usually in the Bullpup rifles, Bullpup shotguns, you compromise a little bit on the trigger action. Why? Because you have a big trigger assembly going all the way back to make that action possible. So that's one of the reasons why I was kind of skeptical in a way for this particular conversion kit, because it is Bullpup. So we'll see how it works. I got 5 rounds in my magazine. With this, obviously, this is your standard 1.5 by 28-inch whatever thread. So silencers, suppressors, whatever you wanna set on this. Check this out. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun shooting this thing. Okay, so finally, this is all set up. As you can see, it doesn't take too long. Doesn't take a rocket science genius to install this thing. We got our Glock ready to go. We got our magazine with 5 rounds. Our red dot is on, and I'll start with the white little circle at the very bottom, more or less untouched. Yeah, very easy to rack. I'm gonna extend the stock just a little bit. Oh yeah, that's good. All right. Wow. This is unbelievable amount. Holy cow. Okay, let me put some 5 more rounds because this is gonna be a good day. Man, I cannot believe this is my Glock right there in a bullpup freaking action. Unbelievable. Such an easy operation. Wow. Okay, let's start with the review. First of all, freaking awesome. Freaking love this thing. Unfreaking believable. Now, if you guys have been subscribed to my channel, you watched probably me do the, what was it, CAA micro conversion kit. That thing was pretty cool. It was very simplistic. It was very basic. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't much to it. It literally was just a stock. You're adding a stock, barely, to your handgun because everything in the handgun stays the same. It's the same barrel, it's the same everything. So there is really no upgrade to the gun, right? You're taking your good handgun. If it's a Glock, it's good, all right? If it's not Glock, then it's okay, right? The Springfield guys and Smith & Wesson guys, don't get nervous, all right? So you have a good gun, right? And you add the micro conversion kit, so now you have a carbine out of your handgun, and it's pretty cool. But nothing is upgraded on a handgun. This right here is an actual upgrade to the handgun because you're taking, what is it? I think this is a 5 1/4 inch because it's threaded barrel, and you're putting a 16-inch barrel with what is it, 110 twist. This barrel is actually 110 twist. So you have a full and a half, a little bit more than a half rotation of bullet. So obviously the velocity is increased, the range is going to be increased. There's much more punch from the bullet that you're getting from the round. So, wow. I love this thing. Okay, let's start from the very beginning as I normally do so that I stick to the point and make it as good of a review as possible. Let's start with the grip. Check this out. As you can see right here, we have our standard pistol grip. Very decent amount of aggression, surprisingly. No, it's definitely not slippery at all. You can have a very, very good grip on it. Moving on, we have our collapsible stock. As you can see right here, button all the way down. If it's collapsed all the way, it's about 22 inches, the whole thing in length. If it's all the way out, I believe it's 26 inches in length. So it gives you pretty good versatility. Obviously on the top we have our Picatinny rail with 35 slots, so plenty of space for the accessories, red dot, magnifier, all of the sides. Now you probably already noticed the M-lock attachment on the left, on the right, and yes, on the bottom as well, in case if you want to put a grip or if you want to put one of those grips, which I don't know, according to ATF, I don't think it's gonna be legal, but whatever. Don't hold me, don't hold me accountable to your crazy idea. But here you can, because there's M-lock, there's Picatinny. And overall, this grip, even if you don't put anything, it's very nice and grippy because there are some serrations to have a good catch. Okay, so moving on to the operation a little bit. A little bit of interesting, a little bit of a different operation. Mag release, as you can see here, it's just kind of a cutout for a button. I think it works, it definitely works. But here's the thing, if you are using regular magazines, you might not appreciate this mag release as much. I have an extension, so it works very well because I can grip my 2 or 1 finger on it and actually press it with the thumb and pull it out. But it's not as intuitive as, for example, just a straight pressing on. It's not bad at all. Plus, it is ambidextrous. You have it on both ends. Obviously, it's not gonna work on this side. So, in order for it to be, to operate on the other side for a Glock, you would have to actually reverse your mag release on the Glock itself. All right, if that makes sense. Honestly, if you are getting this for a Glock specifically, I would highly recommend getting those 33 capacity magazines. I think it would be nice because you have a plenty of grip to catch onto in order to do a fast replacement. Okay, so moving on, we have our safety over here. Yes, now you do have safety on your Glock, manual safety. Check this out. So right now, safety is disengaged, and on the other side, in order to engage it, you just press it on the other side. It's okay. It's quite intuitive because you know it's easier to disengage it than to engage it, and that's the design. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how you want it. You don't want to accidentally engage it, but you want to make sure you can easily disengage it nice and quickly, and you're ready to go. And this is the case here. The positioning, I would say, for meta tactically, if you guys watching, you probably guys are watching this, I would recommend moving it if it's possible. Probably, maybe, I think it might be possible to move it a little bit further and a little bit down closer to the thumb, so that you don't have to get your thumb kind of all the way. I mean, it's not bad, honestly. It's not bad. It's doable. But if it's a little bit further and a little bit lower, probably would be just a little bit easier to disengage it if you're doing your one-hand operation. Now, the wrecker. I freaking love it. Let me remove the magazine. I mean, it makes it so much easier. And it is ambidextrous. Check this out. So this conversion kit, everything is ambidextrous on this. The mag release, obviously the safety switches from one side to another one, and then the racker is handles on both sides. The only thing whenever it comes to this being ambidextrous, because you're probably looking at this and thinking, yes, great, I'm left-handed, I need this, I'm ambidextrous. The only problem with that, if you are shooting it left-handed, you have your ejection port right here. So if you are shooting it left-handed, you have your ejection port with the stuff pretty much possibly flying into your face. So another recommendation for meta tactical, if you guys are considering to do a generation 2 or something like that in the future, maybe making an ejection port that is probably not going to be possible, because then Glock has it this way and then it's not going to fly that way. Nah, never mind, scratch that. It's not possible. How freaking, unless you kind of find a way to flip this plastic the other way, and then when it shoots it flies out. Nah, it's too much potential for the jam. Never mind, bad idea. Sometimes I have bad ideas. Actually, most of the times I have bad ideas. So instead of coming out with new stupid ideas, let's do some shooting. I'm gonna put some 5 more rounds through this, and I'll try to hit maybe some of those fluffy pedals, and then we'll talk about the trigger, because I like the trigger. I like the trigger, and it almost feels a little bit better than the stock trigger on the Glock, believe it or not, which is honestly very surprising, because like I said, I was pretty sure that it won't be, just because of the whole trigger assembly and how long it has to be in order to work in a bullpup weapon. Alright, so freaking love this thing. Okay. Okay, so you're compensating. Amazing. I freaking love this thing. So, one thing obviously you want to keep in mind, and honestly, I would probably do that myself. As you can see, I have the standard extension, standard riser for this particular red dot optic. So that would co-witness with your flip up sights. But here, I think on this particular platform, I would utilize one of those low profile optics, the one that sits as close as you can to the Picatinny rail. Why? Just because there is already, you have about 1 inch to compensate between the barrel and the Picatinny rail, and then you add another probably like 2 inches. So you have to compensate 2.5, 3 inches. So you're aiming 3 inches lower. No, you're aiming 3 inches higher than you're shooting. So your red dot is about 2.5, 3 inches higher than where you are aiming. Obviously, if you get the lower profile optic, it will be much less. It will be about maybe an inch, inch and a half, which is much better than 2.5, 3 inches. Hopefully that all makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about the trigger. And then I will do the disassembly and we'll try to come up with a reasonable conclusion for this whole thing. Okay, so let me take out the magazine and there you go. Works that way as well. Works this way as well. So we got our trigger. Check this out. Feels very good. And as you can see, it has, wow, it's so nice. Check this out. So we have about, you can definitely feel that safe, familiar action travel on the stock trigger. You can definitely feel it on this trigger, definitely resembles. And then we have that a little bit of unfamiliar travel that if you're used to the Glock trigger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then a crisp break. So if you are used to your stock trigger, if you are used to the trigger on your gun that you currently have, you will do with this trigger just fine because it resembles it perfectly. Honestly, I don't know how Meta Tactical guys done it, but they done a fantastic job of just that resemblance between the two triggers. And actually this feels a little bit more pleasant than actual trigger on my handgun, on my Glock 17. So let's do the disassembly and then we will try to come up with a reasonable conclusion. In order to disassemble it, again, same thing, we're gonna collapse the stock. Very easy by pressing this button up here and it collapses. You press this button on the bottom right here and this whole thing opens up. Check this out. Now obviously don't hold it like that because it will fall out. I have it locked in place right now by this thing. So I'm gonna unlock this and then our Pinocchio, Glock Nocchio, nicely comes out. I probably have to remove the flesh. I'm gonna have to remove the flesh. So remove the flesh suppressor first, and then you will be able to take out your Glock. And like I said, before letting you guys go, gotta do some fool around and shoot my Glock Nocchio over here. Just do one round. Okay, let's see if I can hit them flippy paddles with this thing. The top yellow. Ha! More accurate with Glock Nocchio than the regular Glock. I freaking love it. So in the conclusion, I have to say, I mean, for the price, I mean, it's really. Whenever I was looking at the price, at first I was like, it might be a little bit too expensive. But when I actually got the package and I saw that you are getting the whole different barrel, I mean, this barrel on its own is probably like 200 bucks. So at the end of the day, this comes out to pretty much the same price as that CAA or whatever the name of that micro conversion kit that I was featuring on this channel. And honestly, this is just so much better. I mean, if you really want to convert your Glock into a bullpup rifle, first of all, you don't really have any other options but this. But second, if you do really want to convert your Glock into, or handgun, right now it's Glock, it's the P80, and I believe also Smith & Wesson. Check out their website. I'll put their website in the description below, so check it out. They do have a few different models, this conversion kits, for a few different handgun manufacturers and models. Obviously they would be interchangeable. For example, this one, I'm pretty sure I can use this micro conversion kit on the Generation 5 Glock 19 because it's exactly the same barrel. It should work. I'm not 100%, but it should work. Maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I will. But obviously you can get it specifically for your handgun. But if you are planning to do that, this definitely makes sense because it actually does upgrade your handgun. It's not just your handgun stuck in a plastic piece and you're just shooting your handgun with something additional plastic. No, you are actually upgrading the barrel. You are changing the velocity of the round that comes out of that barrel muzzle, and of course you are adding all of the capabilities of the bullpup weapon to it. Obviously, if you're not familiar with a bullpup weapon in general, Yes, you already know that the action is happening in the back. Okay, so what are the advantages? Well, the advantages are you have the whole 16-inch barrel, so it's a full-size rifle barrel in a very small compact package, very maneuverable. And one of the bigger things that you will notice with the bullpup weapons is that because all of the action is happening on the back, and you will see with this conversion kit as well, all of the weight is sitting on the back, leaving the front much lighter than the back. And what that gives you, it gives you basically not just the maneuverability, because now your body connects more with the firearm because the weight is here, but also a much easier recoil management and recovery after the recoil, after the firing, because the front is much lighter compared to the back, and the back is all of the weight, all of the action is happening at here. So you don't have the recoil traveling all the way through the stock and getting you into the shoulder. It happens right here. So the travel distance, I don't know, this is not freaking physics. Anyway, this is freaking great, freaking cool. I freaking love it. That's it. See you in the next video.